Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Kanada'nın en kaliteli kolejlerinden Langara College'da eğitim ve en iyi üniversitelere transfer fırsatlarını Gregory ve Onur Bey'den dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Buyurun Onur Bey, sahne sizin.
Herkese merhabalar. Gregory Vancouver'dan katılıyor. Sunuma ben de İstanbul'daki ofisimizden. Langara College'ın yetkili görevlisi o. Biz de 20 senedir Langara College'da lisanslı onların partneri olarak çalışan İstanbul'da ofisi ve birçok yerde irtibat bağlantı büroları kişileri olan bir acentayız. Ben kendim Langara College mezunuyum. Kanada'da, Vancouver'da koleji, Toronto'da üniversite okudum. Kanada vatandaşıyım. Gidip geliyoruz sürekli Vancouver, Toronto'ya. Langara College Kanada'nın en batı sahilinde olan ve Kanada'nın 3. en büyük popülasyonu olan ve dünyada en yaşanılır şehirler listesinde Birleşmiş Milletler tarafından en çok kez, 7 kez seçilmiş. Gerçekten çok güzel bir şehir. Langara College'da oradaki en büyük üniversite transfer koleji. Öğrenciler lise mezunu olup gidip okuyup üniversiteye transfer olabilirler sene kaybetmeden. Veya lise veya üniversite mezunları yaş gözetmeksizin 1, 2 ve 3 senelik sertifika diploma programlarını bitirip direkt iş hayatına atılabilirler. Çok güzel bir okuldur. Herkese tavsiye ederim Vancouver'da. Sözü Gregory'e bırakacağım. O sunumu yapacak. Sorularınızı hepsini sorular bölümüne şu tarafa sorarsanız, yazarsanız sonunda cevaplandıracağız. The microphone is yours. Thank you, Gregory.
Great. Thank you, Onur. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I think it's afternoon or maybe late afternoon, early evening. So good to be here. My name is Gregory Picorni. I'm manager of international marketing and recruitment at Langara College in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So I have a presentation, and then it's going to take probably about 30 minutes, and introducing the college, the city, programs, application process, and then there'll be some time to take any questions live or, during the presentation. If you feel free, you want some question pops in your mind, please write it in the question box in the chat. And I know Onur is looking at that, and we will get to all your questions, and we'll be able to answer all of them in due time. So, okay, so I think my screen is sharing here. I cannot see my presentation.
Can you switch to the PDF, Gregory?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we can see.
Okay. So it's there, right?
Yes, we can see the presentation.
Okay, so yeah, just a basic, I think many people know about Canada, and you're interested in Canada. So just a quick introduction about the country. I mean, just under 38 million people in a very large country, land mass wise, and with the 10th largest GDP, and median age is around 40, just over 40 years old. So you can see there's 10 provinces, 3 territories, and you can see on the west coast, the province initial there, BC, British Columbia, and the star there, you can see Vancouver, and that is where Langara College is. So a little bit more about Vancouver. So it is the 3rd largest city in Canada, and it's usually rated as one of the most livable cities in the world, usually in the top 5 or top 10 every year. Vancouver does have the nickname as Hollywood North. That's because a lot of the motion pictures and movies and television, animation studios and so on, those production centers are in Vancouver. So a lot of filming goes on here. It's a big industry. And the other point I'd like to make is about the temperature. So we are on the west coast, and probably in the winter time, it is the mildest temperature in Canada. So average temperature in the winter is between 0 and 5 degrees. And, may seem cold or not, but compared to other parts of Canada in the winter months where it's -10, -15, or maybe -20 regularly, then the 0 to 5 degrees is quite a bit warmer. So it is probably the mildest temperatures in Canada during the winter months. So Vancouver is a very multicultural city. Over 20% of the population are born overseas and now making Vancouver their home. And it does have one of the lowest unemployment rates in Canada. This statistic here is kind of before the pandemic, so just under 5%. Obviously, the pandemic has brought the statistic up more, but hopefully coming out of the pandemic, we'll get down to this level again. Okay, so we get a lot of questions before I get into about Langara, but students kind of want to know why they should consider college or what are the benefits, and there's a few factors to consider. So on the slide, you can see here things such as choice and flexibility. There's a lot of flexibility in your study options if you're not sure what you want to study. Adaptability is very important because we keep the class sizes very small. 35 students or less. And so students are able to kind of get used to everything, and it's not like so overwhelming. And, they're coming out of their home country, coming from a different culture, different education system. So it's kind of easy to adapt. Another factor is the grades. Langara is a community college, and as such, grades are, Langara does have this open access policy and the requirements not as strict. Now, there are some programs where we do look at the grades, such as engineering and science. They will look at math and physics and chemistry and so on. But for the most part, most of the programs at Langara, as long as you've graduated high school and you meet the English proficiency requirement, then you can usually gain admission to Langara. Course load, this is because Langara has 3 intakes a year. So any student can start in any of the 3 intakes. So you can start in September, or if that doesn't work, you can start in January, or if that doesn't work, you can start in May. So there's 3 intakes a year, and students are able to spread out their course load throughout the year, or if they want to kind of have more courses during 2 semesters and have a semester break, that's fine. That's up to them as well. And the final thought here is about investment. And when I talk about investment, I'm talking about the tuition fees. So if you can see on this slide, this is the tuition fee comparison. And this is from last fall for business program. And all these institutions are in BC. So they're all excellent institutions. But you can see the tuition fees for international students varies quite a bit depending on which institution you're going to. So for UBC, the student will pay over $51,000 Canadian a year in tuition. SFU, $33,000. University of Victoria, $24,000. Langara College for the same programs, the business programs, you will pay just under $19,000. So, and those courses are fully transferable. So if the student is doing 1 year or 2 years at Langara and then transferring to a bigger university such as UBC or SFU, you can see that they're saving themselves quite a bit of money in those 2 years. Now, once they transfer to the bigger university, they're going to start paying those bigger university tuition fees, but they are saving themselves for that 1 year or 2 years because the courses are fully transferable. So that is another big reason why students do consider a college like Langara College. Okay, so getting into a Langara College, it is, as I mentioned, a public community college, and students are able to work part-time during their studies. It's all stipulated on the study permit, so students are able to work 20 hours a week off campus. And once you graduate with the Langara credential, you are eligible for the PGWP. And what is PGWP? PGWP means post-grad work permit. So if you get a 2-year associate degree or a 2-year diploma or a 2-year post-degree diploma, you are eligible for a 3-year post-grad work permit. So that is a very big benefit for students that are graduating. If they want to stay in Canada, get Canadian work experience, it allows them to stay in Canada and get this PGWP and work. Okay, so as I said, it's located right in the heart of Vancouver, public community college. This picture here, as you can see, this is the this picture here where you see the tall buildings and the stadium, that is the downtown area. And you can see the mountains in the background. You can see the ocean. So it is surrounded by, a very beautiful setting. And if you see the next slide, this shows where it's located. Now, you can see at the top of the map, you can see the downtown. It may be hard to see, but at the top of that map is the downtown, which I just showed you. And you can see a black line running down north-south, and from downtown down to the Vancouver airport. And down about halfway, you can see there's a main campus. That is where Langara is located. So it's a 17-minute SkyTrain ride to downtown Vancouver. It's 15 minutes from the Vancouver airport on SkyTrain. It's 15 minutes by bus to UBC, University of British Columbia. And it's very located in a quiet residential area. And the good thing is students really cannot get lost because the SkyTrain station is actually called Langara 49th Avenue. So that is the station that students, anybody who wants to go to Langara, they get off at that station, they walk 5 to 7 minutes, and they're on the campus. So the location is a very prime location and a very excellent location that's accessible to all public transportation. Okay, so some other statistics about Langara and other facts. It's got a long history. It was established in 1970, and we have 3 intakes a year, as I mentioned, the September, the January, and the May. As I mentioned, it's a 5 to 7 minute walk from the Langara 49th SkyTrain station. So it's a fair-sized college. 23,000 is the annual enrollment. And on any given term, like I mentioned, the 3 intakes, there's about 16,000 students per term. And those students, among those 16,000, over 5,000, about 1/3 of the students are international students and are represented from over 90 countries. So this is just a picture of the campus, overhead picture. You can see there's a golf course behind the Langara, and you can see like all the houses. You can see in the in the background there where the mountains are, you can see the the skyline with the downtown. So that gives you an idea of where we're located and in relation to downtown. But as I said, it's about a 17-minute SkyTrain ride to downtown. Okay, some pictures of the campus and of the actual facilities. There's, there's the T building, which is a tech building, library, of course, a very big library with a lot of resources for all the students, gymnasium, cafeteria, restaurants, coffee shops. There's a medical clinic on campus with a doctor and nurse all the time, daycare, and so on. Okay. So I'll get to the resources for students, and first thing I'd like to talk about, it's very important, is the Co-op and Career Development Center. Now, those of you who are not familiar with the term co-op, this kind of means like internship or work term. And at Langara, there are a lot of programs that have this co-op option. So this Co-op and Career Development Center is on the campus. It's a very busy center for the students. There's an online job board there. There's workshops that are put on. There's many career fairs, job fairs, a lot of industry networking events where you can meet people. You can meet alumni from Langara who have went on to different jobs, peer-to-peer career leaders group, and so on. So with this Co-op and Career Development Center, as I mentioned, it has all these kind of resources for students, but for the co-op, many of the programs at Langara have co-op. It could be mandatory or optional. It means full-time paid work in your area of study. So, whatever program you're in, if there's a co-op option, it's in your area of studies. It's lasts for 16 weeks, 4 months, and you get a chance to apply the knowledge that you've gained. You develop those professional skills, network, and you're doing this instead of going to class. So you submit a kind of work term report, and in lieu of going to class, and you're able to still work your part-time job if you have one. Okay, a note about scholarships. We get a lot of questions about scholarships, and at the current time, Langara has scholarships, but these are for the current Langara students, and any student who is a full-time student is eligible for these scholarships. It doesn't matter Canadian or international student. At this time, we don't have any entrance scholarship program, but in the next month, or probably I think beginning of September, we will announce an entrance scholarship program. So I cannot say much about it now. It will not be full scholarship, but it will be a partial scholarship for high academic achieving students. But the scholarships that we do have are for the current students, and these are posted every intake in every department. Okay, we get a lot of questions about accommodation, and so there is no dormitory or no residence on the Langara campus. All the students stay off campus, but one option that we do have is the Lengura Homestay, and that's done by Langara staff. It's a homestay department, and they match the student with a Canadian family. Room and meals are provided, and it's maximum 2 students in a house. They try to get students of different nationality, and it would be 2 male students or 2 female students, but each student gets their own private bedroom, and then you share the facilities. So it's a good way to practice English, learn about the culture, explore Vancouver with your host family. And the cost of this is it includes room and meals, 3 meals. The cost of this is $950 Canadian per month. So if this is if you end up applying to Langara and you're interested in this, you just let myself or owner know. I put you in contact with the homestay department, and they handle the application, they handle the airport pickup, and everything else. Okay, so we do have a lot of support for the students, and this support's, it was the last year and a half, it was virtual support because of the online nature of the classes, but from September, I'm going to talk about this in a second, we will be face-to-face, so it will be offered on campus, but tutoring, counseling, career counseling, academic counseling, and so on like that is all available to students. Athletics, sports. So Langara does participate in 3 sports, and they play against other colleges, other institutions. These are all student athletes. So the 3 sports are basketball, soccer or football, and golf for male and female. Now, if you are a sports player and you play one of these 3 sports, it could be very good, because if you do come to Langara and make the team, make the basketball team or make the soccer team or the golf team, then there is significant tuition savings for your tuition. So keep that in mind, but you would still have to apply as an international student, meet the academic requirements, get your visa. But once you got to Canada and let's say you tried out for the team and you made the team, then your tuition would be significantly reduced. Okay, getting into the programs at Langara. Now, I just want to make one comment about the pandemic and just update about this. So, you know, as I mentioned, the last year and a half, we've been online, and this current semester is the last semester we're online. So from September, we will be delivering face-to-face as per the minister's announcement back in March. So Langara is preparing for that. There will be some online component still in September, but most of the courses will be delivered face-to-face on campus. And if students do have a study permit for Langara, because Langara is approved by the government, it has a COVID-19 readiness plan, students are able to travel to Canada and start their studies. Okay, so I get into the programs, and you can see here, like, you know, it depends on what you want to do, but we have university transfer, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Bachelor's degree, we do have 2 bachelor's degrees. These are Bachelor of Business Administration and Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics. We also have career program, 2-year diploma programs, 2-year post-degree diploma programs, and Langara EAP, Langara English for Academic Purposes. And I'll talk about each of these in the coming slides. So for the university transfer, this is open enrollment, regular studies, start at Langara, transfer credits to complete your degree at a university. Langara is the largest transfer institution to UBC, so a lot of students will start their studies at Langara, and because of the proximity, UBC is also in Vancouver. It's a very recognized university in the world, globally ranked. Then they will try to transfer, and many are successfully in transferring to UBC. So this shows the pathway. You can start at Langara year 1 and complete an associate degree in year 2 if you like, but you have to do a minimum 1 year. And then you transfer into, if you want to leave Langara, then you can transfer into year 2. But you can get the associate degree credential after 2 years, then you're transferring into year 3. So just keep in mind that you're not starting over when you transfer. You're transferring the credits. The credits that you do at Langara are transferable. So when you transfer to university, you're not starting over, you're just continuing. So it's either a 1+3 1-year Langara, 3 years at the university, or a 2+2, 2 years at Langara, 2 years at the university, and complete your bachelor's degree. You cannot do 3 years at Langara and then 1 year at the university. It's not possible. So it's either a 1+3 or 2+2. And there's other opportunities to transfer. I mean, within BC, it's quite seamless and efficient. You can see the other universities listed there, but you can also transfer to out of province. There is an extra step. You do have to check with the university to make sure they accept the credits. And I think I can bring Onur in. Onur, are you there? You can talk, maybe you can speak to your experience for starting at Langara and then transferring to university in Ontario.
Yes. So if a student, maybe I'll do it in both languages. If a student wants to do it within BC, it's very easy to transfer. BC Transfer Guide, check your courses before you take them. And if you know where you want to go, to which program, which university, you can easily transfer, and all your credits can transfer if you take the right courses. And you have many transfer programs. I was in the university transfer program. If you want to go to another province, you just have to do a bit more work. You have to send your stuff. Eğer British Columbia eyaleti içinde transfer olmak istiyorsanız, derslerinizi seçmeden önce BC Transfer Guide diye bir portal var. Oradan doğru dersleri seçiyorsunuz. Hani bakıyorsunuz mesela University of British Columbia'da bu dersin karşılığı nedir? Benim istediğim programda gerekli mi? Transfer oluyor mu diye. Oradan seçiyorsunuz, ya da Simon Fraser'da, Victoria Üniversitesi'nde hangisine gidiyorsanız. Onları seçiyorsunuz. Ona göre alıyorsunuz derslerinizi ve çok rahatlıkla transfer olabiliyorsunuz. Langara'nın zaten üniversite transfer programı var. Ben de ona gitmiştim. Arts and Science ya da Science birçok bölüm var. University Transfer direkt zaten onun için kurulmuş. Dersler aynı, kitaplar aynı. Ben Ontario eyaletinde, Toronto şehrinde York Üniversitesi'ne geçtim. Orada bir ekstra bir iş yapmam gerekti. Derslerin tanımlarını istediler. Dediler lütfen derslerin tanımlarını print et. PDF'le bize yolla. 63 kredinin 60 kredisini transfer etmiştim. 3. senemden sene kaybetmeden devam ettim. Diğer eyaletleri, üniversitelere de mümkün bu. Kolay bir süreç, sadece yönetmeniz gerekiyor. Doğru dersleri almanız lazım. Yes, I explained. It's a very easy process.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, like, obviously I don't speak Turkish, but I think that, for the out of province, and maybe you have to submit, a transcript and course outline and so on. But if there's already been students that have transferred from Langara to the university in another province that you're going to, then it's usually pretty straightforward. But yeah, like you said, it's just an extra couple steps, but students are able to transfer throughout Canada. Yeah.
I don't know if there were many students already when I transferred. They asked for the course descriptions and course outlines. Maybe they asked.
But probably after you, if anybody wanted to transfer to York,
yes.
It was probably a little bit easier. Maybe you paved the way for them or something.
So I'm a bit old. Yes, correct.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, thank you, Onur.
You're welcome.
Okay, so yeah, and for the university transfer, I mean, those you can see on the slide here. I mean, I'm not going to read every possible program, but you can see the 5 broad categories: arts and business, health, science, technology, humanities, social sciences. Any of these you can start and start at Langara and then successfully gain some credits and then do the university transfer. I talked about the bachelor's degrees. So Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics, a Bachelor of Business Administration. These are 4 years. So these are not, you're not transferring. You're doing all 4 years at Langara. We do have a Bachelor of Recreation Management, but for this, you do have to start with the diploma first, and then you ladder into the bachelor's program. So it's kind of like for direct entry, Bachelor of Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Bioinformatics, you start with the associate degree and then go into the bachelor program. So ultimately there are three options for bachelor's degrees. For the career programs, these are 2-year diploma programs. These are very practical education. So these are for the students that don't want to transfer. They just want to get maybe they want to do 2 years. These are set up and structured in a way that once the student graduates, they're able to apply and join the workforce. So it's very practical education, as I said, hands-on learning. And admission to some of these programs can be competitive. So we always tell students to apply early. And these are some of those 2-year diplomas, not all of them, but everything from business, journalism, kinesiology, all the animation programs. Early childhood education is very popular, criminology. We do have 1-year certificates. These are, you can see there like internet web technology, film arts, social service worker. Now, keep in mind, if you do 1-year certificate, the postgraduate work permit will be for 1 year. But if you do 2 years, then the postgrad work permit is 3 years. So it's like getting an extra year if you do the 2-year diploma. Okay, post-degree diploma programs. So these are limited enrollment. The main requirement is you do need an undergraduate degree, and so a bachelor's degree. Very practical education. These are very popular, and there's a work term at the end. Apply early. These are cohort-based, so they're very popular. And we open the registration 11 months before the intake starts. So, for example, May 2022, we open that on June 1st, 2021. For example, next September 2022, we will open the application period from October 1st of 2021. So the 10 post-degree diploma programs, these are the list here. You can see business, marketing, accounting. Web and mobile app has two programs. There's design and there's development. These are 2 separate programs. One is more on the user interface front end. Development is more on the back end, the coding, the development aspect. Data analytics is very popular. Nursing practice in Canada. This is for those that are international nurses. That means they're a nurse in their own country and they have current licensure. Supply chain and logistics is a very popular program because Vancouver is a port city. It's one of the largest, if not the largest port city in North America. And it's a big industry. So a lot of shipping, a lot of cargo, a lot of freight is coming in and out of the Port of Vancouver. So there's a big demand for those graduates as well. And there's also applied planning. Okay, so we do have English language requirement, and most of the programs at Langara fit into Category 2 and Category 3. You can see there IELTS Academic, 6.5 is needed for both of those Category 2, Category 3. TOEFL is 88 or 80. For the next 3 semesters, so September 2021, January 2022, May 2022, we're waiving the band requirements. So you do, as long as you got the 6.5 in IELTS Academic, that's fine. And we are accepting Duolingo. The Duolingo score of 110 is accepted, and that is accepted for the next 3 semesters, so through the May 2022. I don't know about next September yet. We'll decide that a little bit later. So if you do not meet the English language requirement, Langara does have the Langara EAP, and that means you can start at Langara, take English to upgrade your English. There are 8 levels, and each level takes 7 weeks. So maybe you start at level 5 or level 6, and then you can study for a level. Each level is about 7 weeks, almost 2 months, and upgrade your English, and then you can get conditional admission to some of the programs once you attain the LEAP level 8. So that is an option as well for some students. Langara does have the Center for Entertainment Arts, 2-year diplomas, animation, visual effects, game design, game technology. This is for the next 2 intakes that this Langara credential will be awarded. The main requirement here is you do need a portfolio. Now, I'm coming up to the end here, but I just want to touch on about demand occupations. So in Vancouver, the high demand, you can see everything from, I mentioned before, supply chain, IT, computer programming, animation, film, a big industry, as I mentioned, web design, development, nursing, early childhood educators for daycare, nurseries. And the BC labor market, labor ministry, they put out this outlook for the labor market in BC, and they put this kind of 10-year outlook. And in 2019, before the pandemic, they put their outlook out, labor market outlook out. And I just took this slide here, and I just wanted to highlight that in the next 10 years, basically 8 years now, but you can see that the BC government expects 861,000 new job openings. Now, most of these jobs will be going to those that are with credentials. So, a diploma or a certificate or apprenticeship or a bachelor's degree or a professional degree. So if you're coming to Canada and you're studying and you're doing 2 years or 4 years, and then you're graduating and you get the 3-year work permit, you're right in the kind of the middle to the end of this outlook where there's a lot of job openings. So there is quite a bit of demand, and that's due to people retiring. It's due to the economy expanding. So just wanted to highlight that as well. And there's most of the jobs will be throughout BC, but most of them are in the Vancouver area. Okay, so the applying to Langara. So we do have some admission requirements: successful completion of high school. Or if it's a PDD, you need your university degree. If you meet the English language requirement, and there's maybe some additional program requirements depending on the program. So you submit this application. There's a web EPBC portal for documents. We need proof of graduation, and you submit the official transcripts. The way you do this is we need scanned copies of your documents. So they must be color. They must be scanned in full color, usually front and back, and scanned in PDF format. So no cell phone pictures like that, no black and white. And if anything is in another language, if it's in Turkish or some other language, we need notarized English translations as well. We need your English proficiency requirement, and also any other additional requirements if required for the program. And so for the application procedure, once full documents are submitted, document evaluation, right now we're running about a 4 to 5 week. Hopefully this is getting lower, but then everything, you meet the requirements, then the email offer letter is issued. And then you decide, okay, I want to go to Langara. Then you must pay initial tuition deposit of $6,000 Canadian. Once Langara receives that $6,000, then your official letter of acceptance, your LOA, is issued. Then you apply for your visa. You get the visa, great. That $6,000 that you paid for your tuition deposit goes toward your first semester's tuition. You register for your courses. If the visa is denied, I mean, hopefully not, but it does happen, then we need the refusal letter. We need the application for refund. before the semester starts, and we refund the full $6,000. We do have a $155 application fee, but that is non-refundable. But the $6,000, of course, is refundable, fully refundable. Okay, so just finishing up here, why Langara? So I've touched on all these different aspects and topics here. It's a public institution, great location in Vancouver. One of the largest university transfer programs in BC and the largest to UBC. Smaller class sizes. I mentioned the lower tuition fees compared to the bigger universities. A lot of diploma certificate programs, career-focused training, academic EAP is available on campus, and you're able to work off campus, and you're automatically eligible for the PGWP. So that brings me to the end of the presentation, and I thank you for your attention. And there's my contact information. I think I can put it in the chat box as well, but my email is gpokorny@langara.ca, and my marketing assistant, Somaz Marabani, is smarabani@langara.ca. You can follow us on all our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on. So yeah, that brings me to the end, and I think we can open up for some questions. And let me just stop sharing this here.
I wrote in the chat your and Solmaz's emails.
Great.
Okay. So I'll start from the beginning. Do
Sorry
you
about
offer the questions? I'll start. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Do you offer short-term vocational certificate programs? Are they maybe like Eda Hanım, is she asking shorter than 8 months? I am not sure, but no, I think minimum is 8 months, right? Vocational certificate.
Yeah. There's no, the shortest is 1 year.
8 months, right? 2 terms. En kısa program 8 ay, yani 2 dönemden oluşuyor. Daha kısa programları yok. Co-op possible for all programs? No.
I'm sorry?
Is co-op available for all programs? No.
No, not all programs. I'll share the. Sorry, I got the landscapers outside my window here doing.
It's okay.
So I have, I'll share the program guide link just a second. And
programların bazılarında staj imkanı var ve bazılarında bitirmek için zorunlu. Staj programın sonunda oluyor genelde. Bütün programlarda staj, yani internship denilen şey yok. Onu sormuş Kübra Hanım. Which accommodation option is the most economic one? You don't have a residence, you don't have any agreement with any residence, right? Do you have any partnership with any? No.
No. So there's a lot of independent student residences in Vancouver. I mean, you can do a Google search on that. Vancouver's a pretty big city, and also I think owner. I mean, I know that you also have your have some links to Homestay as well, so they can get in touch with you as well.
Yes. So. But answering her question, is accommodation with Homestay cheaper? Yes, it is cheaper. Hangi konaklama daha ucuz olur demiş. Hatta en ekonomik olan hangisi diye sormuş Zaten Hanım. Hani aile yanında konaklama mı? Yurtta kalmak daha pahalı, onu söyleyebilirim. Yurtta kalmanın masrafı yemeksiz, aile yanında kalmanın yemekli ücretinden daha pahalı oluyor neredeyse. Ama onun dışında biz 2 arkadaş, 3 arkadaş ev tuttuk vesaire, onlar belki farklı olabilir. I said if they rent a place together with their friends or something, it could be different, but that's something we don't know.
Yeah, I just put in the chat box the link to the program guide for everybody. So if you click on that program guide, you can see all the programs that are for international students with the academic requirements, the tuition fees, the intakes, if there's a work term, and so on. So that's a good resource for students.
And all programs are not available for international students.
No, like, I mean, for example, we have undergraduate nursing. It's not available to international students. So anything that's on that program guide is available to the international.
That's, I'm going to tell them not to check the website directly. They should check the link you sent.
Yes.
Yeah, in Turkish. Tüm programlar uluslararası öğrencilere açık değil. Örneğin hemşirelikle ilgili açıklamıştı. Hemşire olan, lisansı olan kişilerin eğer varsa bir 4 senelik diplomaları sonradan gelebilecekleri program var ama liseden sonra direkt girilen açık değil. Açık programlar, uluslararası öğrencilere alan programlar, programların kodu var mı yok mu, tüm detaylarıyla ilgili chat bölümünde bir link yolladı. Orada program guide diyor, oradan bakıp referans alın. Devam ediyorum sorular. I'm continuing with the questions. Can they apply to multiple programs with one application fee? No, I mean they have 2 choices, right? 2 or 3. It was 2. But if they meet the requirements for one, the other is not important. Can they apply for multiple programs with one application fee? No. I think they apply for one, they get one.
Sorry, owner.
Sorry. Bağlantıda bir sorun oldu ama ben devam edebilirim. Başvuru yaptığınızda bir tane program seçiyorsunuz birinci seçenek olarak. İkinci seçeneğinizi seçiyorsunuz. İkinci seçeneğinizden önce birinci seçenek için bütün gereklilikleri zaten yerine getiriyorsanız ikinci seçenek bakılmıyor bile. Ece Hanım sormuş yani bir ücretle, bir başvuru ücretiyle birkaç şeye başvurabilir miyim diye. Önemli değil. Birincisinden evet cevabı aldığınızda ikincisi zaten önem taşımıyor. Ama eğer kabul edilmediniz diyelim birincisine, ikincisine de edilmediniz. Örnek veriyorum. Okul şey diyebilir, ya bak bu ikisini istemiştin ama bizde bir 3. program var, bunlara benzer, ister misin diye bunu sunabilir, sunmayabilir. O zaman der ki bir daha mı başvurmak istiyorsun? Tekrar para öde, tekrar başvur. Is pathway program guaranteed to pass bachelor's course? Ceyda Hanım yazmış, ben soruyu anlayamadım. Pathway programa geçmek için garanti... I answered the last question. Is pathway program guaranteed to pass to bachelor course? I think she's saying pathway. I'm guessing it's LEAP, your English language program.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, I got booted out here, so I came back in. Sorry, I didn't catch the question, owner.
I couldn't understand the full question, but I'm interpreting. She's saying, is it guaranteed to transfer from the LEAP, the English language program, to the bachelor's or to the diploma or certificate if they pass? Yes.
Yeah. So if they get the English requirement that they need, but if they do LEAP and needs LEAP level 8, then you have to make sure that the LEAP goes into the regular studies program. So not all programs you can do LEAP and then go to that program. It will depend. It's on the program guide.
For other programs, you need to write IELTS or TOEFL again?
That's right. That's right.
But most programs are available with LEAP, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Programların büyük çoğunluğuna eğer İngilizce yeterliliğiniz yoksa LEAP denilen LEAP yani Langara'nın kendi dil programına gidip sonradan geçebilirsiniz. Birkaç nadir programda ayrıca yine IELTS veya TOEFL isteyebilirler. Ama çoğunluğunda, çok nadirdir bunu istemeleri, çoğunluğunda dil okulundan geçebilirsiniz. Nasıl? 8. seviyeyi bitirmeniz gerekiyor Langara'nın o dil programında. Onu da ne kadar da bitireceğiniz sizin İngilizcenize ve ne kadar mesafe kat ettiğinize ne kadar zamanda bağlı. Will you offer any online program this academic year? Will you?
Well, in September, we will have some of the programs will be online. I know that post-degree diploma in web and mobile will be online in September. But as I mentioned in the presentation, most of the programs will be delivered face-to-face on campus. So I think like this, anyway, if this student is asking, I mean, right now, no student who is listening, who's potentially thinking about coming can come in September. So already you're looking at January or May next year, then we will be face-to-face on campus.
Eğer online programları olacak mı olmayacak mı diye sormuş birisi. Online programlarınız bu dönem olacak mı diye. Mesela bir tane işte web ve mobil tasarım programı dedi mesela post-degree o olacak dedi. Ama çoğunluğu yüz yüze olacak. Fakat önemli değil zaten Eylül ayı için yetişmeleri mümkün değil şu anda diyor. Ocak'ta veya Mayıs'ta geleceklerse veya bir sonraki Eylül'de zaten bütün programlar yüz yüze olacak diye söyledi. Eda Hanım sormuştu. What's the English requirement for computer studies? I was just trying to open that up, but they can look at the program guide, I think, right?
Yeah, so program, it's just the same 6.5 IELTS academic. As I said, we're waiving the band requirements. If they do Duolingo, 110. So.
English requirement, computer studies, bilgisayar eğitimi için olan, yani computer studies programı için olan IELTS'ten 6.5 veya Duolingo'dan 110 gerektiğini söyledi İngilizce yeterliliği için. Ve her bir bölüm minimum 6 olmak zorunda IELTS'te. TOEFL'da onun karşılığıdır. Bakabilirsiniz. Bizim chat bölümünden yazdığım web sitemizde Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, PTE bunların birbirleriyle olan seviyelerinin karşılıkları kaç puana denk geliyor hepsi yazıyor. Bir de CEFR'da da yazıyor. Yani o A1, A2 onun da karşılığı yazıyor. Görebilirsiniz. Türkiye'de ön lisans mezunuyum ve ben Mobile App Design and Development Postgraduate Diploma programına başvurdum. Someone has finished his undergrad, 2 or 4 years, didn't write, and wants to do web and mobile app design and development post degree. Well, I guess the question is if he's a 4-year graduate.
It has to be a bachelor's degree. So if he's done a 2-year diploma in Turkey, it's not enough. It has to be a bachelor's degree.
It has to be a bachelor's degree.
All the post-degree diplomas requires bachelor's degrees.
Bachelor's, so no associates. Okay, associate degree.
No.
Okay. Arkadaşımız Türkiye'de ön lisans mezunuyum dedi diye sordu. Eğer post degree yani üniversite mezununa özel bölümlerden birine sormuş. Web and Mobile Development gidebilir miyim diye. 4 senelik mezuniyet gerekiyor Langara'da. Üniversite mezunlarına özel post degree ya da postgraduate, post baccalaureate denilen bu programlara gidebilmek için 4 yıl bitirmek gerekiyormuş. What's the average cost of living in Vancouver per month? There's no. Okay.
So, I think this is it's all subjective, right? So, I mean, Vancouver, I'm not going to lie, Vancouver, it can be an expensive city. Most of that is due to the real estate. But I mean, students, people live different ways, right? I mean, you can live frugally and you can save everything and not spend much money, or, walk everywhere or whatever, right? So, it just depends on the person. But for living, I mean, if let's say if you did the homestay for $950 a month, you got your meals provided. You do have to, pay for a little bit of transportation. It just depends. I mean,
I would say it can't go under 1,400 easily. It has to be minimum.
No. Yeah, I mean, there's just, a month. Yeah, I mean, that would be, I would always say like, 1,500 at least. Yeah.
1,500 at least. Minimum $1,500 gerekir diyor. Sema Hanım sormuş. Vancouver'daki ortalama aylık harcamamız ne olur diye. Çünkü bir aile yanında bile kalsanız $950 verseniz, $1,000 verseniz bir 3 öğün yemek dahil yine ulaşımınız var, diğer masraflarınız. Yani $1,500 gerekir diyor.
1,500. Sorry, owner. Some people may, the money is not really an object or whatever, so they spend more lavishly and they just live,
There's no limit. Yeah, sky's the limit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yani herkesin harcaması da farklıdır diyor. Birisi çok tasarrufludur, birisi acayip harcar. Ama biz minimumumuzdan bahsettik en azından. How long is the application and admission request process? How long is the application and admission process?
So it really depends on the program. I mean, for the undergraduate programs, associate degree, undergraduate, it's usually done very, fairly quickly. As I said in the presentation, it's about 4 weeks. We're a little bit behind. We had some short staff and everything like that, but we've solved this now. So hopefully we'll get down to about 2 weeks. But right now it's about 4 weeks. But for undergrad, it's usually done pretty quick. For post degree, it does depend on which program you're applying to, because as I said, they do fill up fast.
Okey, dinlediniz. Yani ben size kendi deneyimden söyleyeyim. Bazen 2-3 haftada çıkabiliyor, bazen 4-5 haftada programa bağlı dediği anlattı. Deneyimlerimden söyleyerek Langara'nın başvuru süreci çok kısa da yani kabul admission denilen bölümü bir ayı yaklaşık bulabiliyor. This is a question I get sometimes. If they finished high school with long distance education, if they did the administration of the program was long distance, are they still considered a high school graduate for you?
I think that's a good question. That is ultimately, it's up to our admissions department to determine. But my understanding is, as long as you have the high school credential, like the high school diploma, and you have your transcripts from your high school, and it proves that you graduated high school, then you meet that requirement. So ultimately, I'm not in the admissions department. I cannot say for sure, but they will determine that. But as long as you, as far as I know, as long as it proves that you graduated high school and you have the certificate and documentation to back it up, then that's fine.
Ben kabul departmanında çalışmıyorum. Onun için onların vereceği bir karar. Fakat benim kanımca eğer ki lise bitirdiğiniz belliyse ve bunu gösteren bir mezuniyet belgeniz, diplomanız varsa açık öğretimden mezun olmanız bir şeyi değiştirmez diyor. Onda bir sorun olmaz. Yani lise mezunu sayılıyorsunuz bizim için de. Bir sorun teşkil edeceğini ben de düşünmüyorum. I shared some links in another webinar before, so one student asked me to share that, like websites where they can find jobs, and I just wrote jobbank.gc.ca, Workopolis, Indeed. I guess those are 3 good ones where they can see what jobs are in demand. That's why he's asking.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, and I think that in that case, I mean, yeah, those kind of links are good. Anything with as I touched on the Ministry of Labor, they have different resources and so on like that. But you can Google search a lot about high demand jobs in Vancouver or BC. Yeah.
Oh, there's also BC. I think there's a BC Labor Market Outlook. I'll send that as well. BC Labor Market Outlook, workbc.ca. So I sent.
That's where I got that one slide in my presentation. So.
Yeah, okay. Gregor'un yaptığı PowerPoint sunumunda da zaten vardı diyor bu BC.ca Labor Market. Ama ben onu da gönderdim. 3 tane daha da Kanada'da hangi işler daha çok talep görüyor? Hangi alanlarda iş bulabilirsiniz? Geleceği nedir? Onu oradaki işlerden biraz görüp fikir sahibi olabilirsiniz. Muhammed Yahya sormuş. Ben de açıkladım. Mezunlar kulübünüz hakkında bilgi verebilir misiniz? Var mı? Var ise etkinlik ve iletişim kanalları nasıl işliyor? Okay. Do you have like an alumni club, alumni association where they can write and get some that's very famous in Turkey. Some private high schools, universities, they get together, you know, they have rice and I don't know, chicken, stuff like that. Do you guys do you
yeah, yeah, I can look into that. I know that the alumni network is a solid one at Langara, and they always bring alumni that have graduated and are working in different fields, and they bring them back to campus for various alumni events and so on, and allows the current students to mingle and meet those alumni. So there are a lot of opportunities there. That is all kind of organized through the Co-op and Career Development Center as well. And I know, like, for example, the Langara School of Management also has a strong alumni support as well.
The last one, Langara? The
School of Management.
School of Management, okay. School of Management, yani işletme ile alakalı olan fakültede, orada çok güçlü bir mezunlar organizasyonu var. Bir de Co-op, yani staj ve kariyer departmanları var. Genelde onlar düzenliyor. Güçlü bir network var diyor ve bazı konularda yardımcı oluyorlar birilerine, işte yönlendirmelerde. Ben çok bilgili değilim bu konuda, çünkü ben mezun olduktan hemen sonra Toronto'ya taşındım. Üniversiteye oraya geçtim. Langara ile pek bağlantım devam etmedi, ama aynı şehirde yaşamaya devam ederseniz Vancouver'da tabii ki bundan faydalanabilirsiniz. Mustafa Bey sormuş, yani mezunlar kulübünüz var mı? Nasıl iletişim kurabiliriz? Nasıl iletişim kurabilirsiniz sorusuna da cevap Langara Co-op and Career Department dedikleri, işte staj ve kariyer departmanına yazabilirsiniz. If they Google or if they search on the Langara website, they can find the contact for the co-op.
Yep. Yeah.
Okul ücreti 18.000 Kanada doları ise onu tek sefer nakit olarak vermemiz gerekiyor yoksa taksi işlemi var mı?
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead. We can finish that one. Yeah.
No, I just saw the question. I think I was kicked out with my internet, but the person East Gune asked, can apply to multiple programs with one application fee.
I answered that one. I think
Yeah, but when they apply through EPBC, there's usually two programs that they can put down, first and second. So it's first choice or second choice. So they can put up to two. But if you want to do like 4 or 5, no.
No,
it has to be. Yeah.
And I said if they are eligible for the first one, the second one is not evaluated. You get the first one done.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I answered correctly.
Okay. So I just saw that there, and yeah. So I don't know if there's any other questions, but
one more. There's only one more.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The tuition fee annual is 18,000. Can we pay it in installments? No. It has to be term by term.
Yeah, semester by semester. So you do not have to pay the 18,000 up front. As I mentioned, the $6,000 at the beginning to get your LOA, and then after that, it's semester by semester. So then you just pay as you register for your courses each semester.
I'll do that very quickly in Turkish.
Yeah. So yeah, you can explain. It's just not in installments, but not. I just want to mention, just they do not have to pay the full 18,000.
No. I'll explain. 6,000 first is a deposit that gets applied to your first term, and then second term before the beginning of the second term.
Yep.
İlk başvurduğunuzda, kabulü aldığınızda $6,000 depozit yatırıyorsunuz. Bu $6,000 birinci döneminizin okul ücretinden düşülüyor. Birinci döneminiz 9.000 civarındaysa geri kalan 3'ü okula gitmeden, yani okula başlamadan 2 hafta, 3 hafta önce ödüyorsunuz. Başlıyorsunuz diyelim, Eylül'de başladınız. Ardından Ocak'ta ikinci döneminizin ücretini de, yani geri kalan yarıyı da Aralık gibi ödüyorsunuz. Ama böyle aylık ya da 3-4 taksit falan gibi bir imkan yok. Devlet kolejlerinde yok zaten hiç öyle bir şey. Belki özel küçük, yani ufak tefek okullarda olabilir. Ama çalışma izni, sonrasında göçmenlik vesaireyi düşünenler kesinlikle devlet okuluna gitmeli. Yes, I explained. Detail.
Okay,
That's
okay,
it.
So is that all the questions? Great. Well, yeah, so just everybody who I think registered or who attended, thank you very much for taking time out of your days and schedule and listening to our 1-hour talk about Langara. And thank you, owner, for your support always in translations and so on.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I'm going to send the presentation and some other documents to everybody who registered, and then I think after that, owner will send some information in Turkish. And please, owner is our one of our trusted agents and partners. He knows Langara very well, graduated from Langara. So please, for local support, you can contact your owner as well. And we're owner and I are in close contact on WhatsApp and so on, so we can always answer your questions. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll pass it back to Hazal, I guess.
Yes, thank you very much for your great presentation, Gregory and Onur. We think it was a really informative webinar for the audience. And I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Langara College ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adreslerinden Gregory'e ve Onur Bey'e ulaşabilirsiniz. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Yarınki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gregory.
Thank you, owner. Thank you. Thank you, Zeynep.